My friends, today is going to be one of the craziest days of the year, and the news ain't stopping anytime soon. We have more updates surrounding our efforts to sign Moises Caicedo. We discuss Michael Olise. Something is happening behind the scenes. And of course, Tyler Adams' move has now collapsed and he won't be signing for us anymore. So tons of stories still developing. So much is happening right now. Honestly, this Caicedo thing feels like endgame times already. And the fact that we are still planning to make even more signings afterwards, my God, it's actually getting stupid, my guys. So if you guys are here for the moment, if you're enjoying life right now, if you are excited with this club, hit that like button, my friends, share your thoughts and opinions, and without wasting any more time. Okay, so let's get the recent story out of the way first, and we talk Tyler Adams, because right now, our move to sign Tyler Adams has now collapsed. We aren't signing him anymore, even though the player has already completed his medical. But even though this might be very disappointing for Adams, of course it is, let's see it this way. We now have an extra 20 million that comes in very handy. We've got a little bit more wiggle room now when it comes to negotiating for Moises Caicedo. And as I was saying prior, it's about prioritizing the use of our funds. Like, we all kind of felt, signing Adams and your Lavians and Caicedos together, that's a lot to do, right? That's maybe a bit overkill now when it comes to reinforcing midfield. We already signed top prospects. We have some great young players coming through too. Is Tyler Adams necessarily needed? Now that we have this information, we can look at the whole situation now in hindsight, and it's quite clear that our efforts for Tyler Adams were contingency plans. He was the backup last resort in case anything happened for Caicedo. Like, I'm not going to lie, it's definitely peak for Adams. Like, you travelled all the way to London. You were getting ready to put your signature on the dotted line to actually sign for us. And to hear all of a sudden that it's over, you got to go all the way back to Leeds. That's definitely going to sting. That's going to hurt. But I'd imagine that tons of clubs now will probably activate that release clause because 20 million for Tyler Adams. Let's be serious, that's an absolute bargain. Like, he is a very good player. Could this potentially open up an option for Brighton now to make a move? Time will tell. But my friends, the reality is we have bigger fish to fry right now. So that's the Adams news out the way. Now, my friends, let's discuss these exciting reports coming out surrounding Michael Olise, because we haven't forgotten about him. Let's not forget we've agreed personal terms with the player, and we've got the verbal agreement pattern now. Michael Olise prefers to sign for us, especially over a Man City, and we're seeing now that Man City are targeting the excellent, exciting wonder kid in Doku from Rennes. So right now we have a free run when it comes to signing him. And the Times reports that we are aiming to complete a deal to sign Michael Olise very soon. As we know right now, the full priority is on getting Caicedo secured. That's all anyone cares about right now. But on top of Olise, the reports also suggest that we are exploring more experienced forwards, whatever the hell that means. And I'm just kind of hoping that this includes Mohamed Kudus. Now, as we know, Mohamed Kudus now is set to play for Ajax tomorrow. Of course, this move to Brighton has collapsed. He'd only sign for them if there was a release clause included in the deal. And obviously that goes against Brighton's transfer model, as we're currently seeing right now with Moises Caicedo, where they're set to earn even more than the 100 million valuation they placed on him throughout the entirety of this year. However, my friends, any move for Michael Olise now is fully dependent on selling players first to generate funds. And look, we got Lukaku left. Obviously, his move to Juventus might not happen. Let's see if Harry Kane now completes his move to Bayern Munich. Things are happening behind the scenes because, of course, Lukaku can only go to Juventus if Vlahovic gets sold. So let's wait for that one. But on top, we got Hakim Ziyech, Trevor Chalobah, Conor Gallagher are seen as expendable right now. Of course, Kepa on top. And there's also potential for either one of Cucurella, Ian Maatsen or Sterling to leave if important bids come through. So right now you're looking at easily generating funds of over 100 million before this window ends. And as I'm saying again, to reiterate, we've already agreed personal terms with Olise. Now, one of the interesting developments around the story is over this proposed secret release clause that has been included in Olise's contract with Crystal Palace. And it seems like we have some clarification now. Now, this comes from reporter Ed Aarons, and essentially it works like this. Now, we all thought his release clause was set at 35 million, but it's believed to be slightly higher than that. There are some interesting stipulations in the deal, and they're basically in favor of the player. So for example, let's say that any club activated the release clause. Olise gets to decide, of course, if he wants to sign for them. We never got full clarification on what the other details are, but I'm going to say it again. The terms have been agreed. We've got the verbal agreement with Olise. Like, I've discussed this already. It's public knowledge. It's out there on the internet. Google it for yourself. And recently, Roy Hodgson had this to say: if there are clubs desperately or seriously preparing a bid and tempting him, then he'll have a decision. I can only wait and see what decision he is going to make. He knows we are very keen to keep him. You can never be certain that the players you got like, want, or are definitely going to stay. We have a transfer market. I can only hope that the market doesn't, on this occasion, punish us by persuading one of our important players to move. But Roy, I'm not going to lie, he might be adding to those grey hairs this season. It's going to be very tense for you guys. We know that Olise is a prime target we want. And once Caicedo gets wrapped up by today, wow, it's still mad to think that we are still planning to make more reinforcements and re-additions. So, my guys, before I even move on to the final updates so I can discuss everything, more news around Moises Caicedo, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a plug. Obviously, I've released a big video talking about Pochettino's predicted 25-man squad for this season and predicted lineup once the transfer window ends. I think you guys might like it. Of course, there is going to be a link below in the description and the card above. So if you guys are still pumped for all things Chelsea news today, my guys, I really recommend you definitely give it a watch, right? So right now, let's end things by discussing even more updates coming out surrounding Moises Caicedo. Obviously, I had to save the best till last, innit? But right now, we are hearing that Todd Bowley and Bali, they have stepped in now to seal the deal. Now, this is a massive L towards guys like Paul Winsley and, of course, Lawrence Stewart, where they've had plenty of months and times to strike an agreement. Again, our owners are coming in to wrap things up. Now, I actually have a different perspective, and I'll keep things brutally real. You guys know me. I had this epiphany, but I kind of realized to myself, who the hell am I? I'm literally just a YouTuber. So try and understand what lane you're in, and don't try and get ahead of yourself where maybe I can talk disrespectfully about sporting directors that have expertise in this game. And the reason why I'm saying that is that it simply comes down to this. The sporting directors will have a budget that they have to play with, of course, to sell players or bring players in. Brighton have been very stubborn, very tense, but the strategy to wait till the final moments to try and sign him for our price, let's not act like this is stupid. Let's not act like we haven't secured players like this in a similar fashion by playing the long game. Obviously, Liverpool have come from absolutely nowhere. The landscape is completely different, and they've outbid us by making a British record fee. So, I think it's only natural in the hierarchy of this club that the sporting directors now are like, listen, we still want to wrap this deal up. But, Mr. Egbali, Mr. Bowley, we need you now to give us the cosign now to wrap things up. We need your involvement now because now this is kind of above our pay grades. And we saw similar things for Enzo Fernandez and co. Let's not act like every deal has been done in a similar fashion. For the very, very big deals, the biggest ones that are going above expectations, I'm actually thinking to myself, I think it's normal that our sporting directors will communicate with the owners now to get involved and wrap things up, because ultimately the owners are at the top of the hierarchy. So yeah, I kind of feel like people have to chill a little bit, including myself too, about getting a bit too disrespectful and carried away. I just think it's how it works. Let's keep things humble for a second. Just because Bali and Bowley are involved right now, does it mean that Stewart and Winsley have been told to go home and take a nap? No, they're all working as a team right now. We understand how we're trying to negotiate this move for Caicedo. Everyone has a responsibility to work together to get this over the line. It's teamwork, and these guys have shown that teamwork time and time again already. Anyway, as I've been saying throughout this video, Caicedo is priority number one, and it's about freeing up funds now and finding ways to explore ways to strike this deal. Now, realistically, we will have to pay over what Liverpool have bid, and if I was to guess that figure, I'm looking at maybe 115 mil or 120 mil, but how we free those funds is the interesting part of the story, because reports now have said that Conor Gallagher is being discussed as potential make weight in this deal. But hear me out first here. By make weight, it doesn't mean that we'll give them Gallagher and let's say 80 million. No, these will be two completely separate deals. Knowing the fact that, okay, Brighton, we bought Sanchez, we're going to give you hypothetically 120 now for Caicedo. Now you have priority to sign Conor Gallagher from us. So in a sense, right, if you're balancing all these guys coming in and guys getting sold in the books, I think in an accounting sense, it works out really well because Conor Gallagher is going to be pure accounting profit because let's not forget, we have a valuation placed on him of £50 million. We rejected a 40 million bid from West Ham. And even if Brighton don't accept it, even though Brighton have shown a lot of interest in Conor Gallagher, they've shown a lot of that, could that even encourage other interested parties now to create our own little bidding war for ourselves to come in and try and sign Gallagher? So in a sense, it all works out in our favour because again, sales were always going to be key, but now not signing Tyler Adams, funds are freed up a bit more, and it's funny that it's 20 million now that's been increased, and our last offer was 90 plus 10 million, hence why I'm guessing it's going to be 120 million pounds. So currently things are looking absolutely spectacular right now. Before I wrap things up, my friends, I'm going to be doing a live stream later on, maybe around 6 o'clock, I'd say. I want to just answer questions, talk with you guys, and get ready for more news that should be breaking as the day is going on. And hopefully that's going to be the announcement, baby. So if you guys are pumped for today, you guys know where that like button is. Hit those bell notification buttons to stay up to date to all the uploads today. And again, I always have to say this because I'm just a humble guy. Thank you for all the support. It's even kind of mad that this is what I can do and even have a bit of an audience that even listens to all the nonsense I have to say. So yeah, obviously, man, always means a lot. And my friends, on that note, I am Nini FC, this is BlueLionsTV. I'll see you guys later again today with some more videos. Cool.